This is a PokePress special report. Hi, I'm Stephen Reich here at the PokePress PIRN Studios in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm on the phone with Rich Walter, who, along with myself, have just viewed the latest Pokemon Blu-ray, which is a combination of Movie 5, Pokemon Heroes, and Movie 7, Destiny Deoxys. And Rich, obviously you want to do a little comparison, figure out what your views and my views were of the compilation. First of all, let's start out. What was the TV and audio setup you used to watch the movies?
I actually just use a normal HD TV. Our Blu-ray isn't too fancy, but we do have an HD that does project the 1080, so it's pretty nice.
Yeah, my setup isn't real sophisticated either. I've got a 720p TV, which actually has a partially dead pixel that I rarely notice. And then I have a surround sound system. It's a home theater in a box. It's nothing all that special. But that's the system I'm going to be basing my review on. Now, the original movies, back when they originally came out, now you told me you did not get a chance to see number 5, Pokemon Heroes, in theaters. It was a limited release. This was the last one that was given any sort of real theatrical run. Where did you eventually get to see it?
I believe I was actually at a friend's house back when I was first starting getting Pokemon, back around 2004, actually. And he had purchased the Pokemon Heroes movie and kind of was just starting to show me what Pokemon exactly was.
You told me you actually watched it on VHS?
Yeah. There's video set.
So Blu-ray is definitely a step up from there.
Definitely.
And what about Destiny Deoxys? Where did you see that first?
I originally saw that back in February of 2005, I believe it was, on the Kids WB.
Yeah, they showed it on a Saturday morning there before, during the regular Saturday morning block, and then it came out, I forget how much later. So how long had it been since you've seen each of these movies?
Well, Pokemon Heroes, I believe it's been a couple of years. I know when our local Blockbuster shut down, I did purchase the Pokemon Heroes copy that they owned and watched it then, like back in 2009, I'd say.
Mm.
And Pokemon Destiny Deoxys happens to be my favorite Pokemon movie, next to Lucario and Mystery Mew. So I do watch it quite often whenever one of my friends wants to watch a Pokemon movie with me.
Well, that sounds pretty cool. Obviously, then this was a real treat for you.
Oh, definitely. I was really excited when I first heard the announcement of this coming to Blu-ray.
Now, what's interesting is both of these are, on this Blu-ray compilation, are film transfers. I guess they made a high-definition film version of the Deoxys, probably for like a film festival or something. But anyway, let's start off with some of the features. There aren't really any special features on this disc. Did that disappoint you a little?
Yes. And the other thing I really noted is that from the original DVD, they did cut the Pokemon Short Camp Pikachu from it.
Yeah, they did.
Which was a little disappointing, I think.
Yeah, they might have only had that in like standard definition because it was never shown. If you had gone to see the 5th movie in theaters, they didn't actually have that there when they showed it. Same thing with the 4th movie. They didn't show the Pikachu's Peekaboo short in the theater. That was only on the DVD. But it would have been at least nice to have it, even if it was only in standard definition. It would have been a nice feature. There's also a few other missing features. Obviously, you're not listening to this if you're directly affected by this, but there aren't any subtitles for the hard of hearing. And the audio is only in 2.0, which is stereo, left and right. It sounds okay, but the original DVDs were in 5.1, which is a little bit weird, why they didn't use that. But other than that, what do you think of the picture quality?
The picture quality was amazing. I love watching Pokemon in HD. I've only done it one other time, but on one of my friend's HD TVs on Cartoon Network HD. But other than that, I've not had many experience with Pokemon in HD, and it was phenomenal, I thought.
Yeah, the only knock I had against the picture quality is that apparently the Pokemon Hero still has that infamous slightly blue color cast that was. They must have used the same transfer when they were making the DVD. So it does still have that issue, but it definitely looked better in high definition.
Definitely.
One thing I really liked about the image is you could see a lot of detail. Did you, in terms of like, you could see how some of the stuff when it was further away and smaller, you could still see if it was kind of abstract, like some of the details had been kind of purposely left out to show a sense of scale. Did you see that as well?
Yes, I did. And I also noticed with the better picture quality that I'm trying to think what it was called, like the medal that Misty was holding in Pokemon Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
I never noticed that it was clear until I did see the HD Blu-ray.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, when you up the resolution like that, it makes a lot of things much more noticeable. One thing that's really interesting is there's that scene in Destiny Deoxys where there's all those cubes that are running along the ground, and there's like thousands of them on the screen at once. And one of the nice things about Blu-ray is they can really ramp up the data rate. And if you look at that on the Blu-ray, it really doesn't break up at all. Even though I mean, it's. I actually have a feature in my Blu-ray player where I can see how much data it's using per second, and it goes up well into the 30 megabit per second area during those scenes, but the picture doesn't break up. But I compared that later against the DVD version of Destiny Deoxys, and boy, it was night and day. The DVD version, just if you froze the frame on it, just looked like a really bad JPEG or something. And what did you think of the other presentation? The menus, they weren't really complex, but I think I was at least slightly impressed because I kind of expected it just to be these little static things. And they've got music, and they cut a few scenes from the movies to use as the background. What do you think of the actual disc presentation?
I know you spoke of the menus, and I noticed this as I was on the menu. They only used the opening intro to the Pokemon Destiny Deoxys on both the Pokemon Heroes movie screen and the Destiny Deoxys screen. So I was a little disappointed there. But other than that, the Blu-ray menus were pretty standard for a Blu-ray disc, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't anything too amazing, but I still liked there was a little bit of effort there. Going back to the sound quality, how was the sound quality? It wasn't in 5.1, unfortunately, like the original discs, but did it seem fairly good?
To be honest, it seemed about the same sound quality, maybe a little bit better. But it seemed to be about the same because, of course, I'm using the same technologies I did to view the DVD versions.
All right, and just out of curiosity, have you watched any other of any cell-based animation movies on Blu-ray before?
I have watched. No, I actually haven't. Sorry, I'm thinking of a different movie there.
Yeah, the only other Blu-ray of a non-CGI, in other words, not 3D movie I have Ponyo, which I got last year, sometime after it came out on Blu-ray, which maybe not is a completely fair comparison because I'm pretty sure that was done in it was technically computer animated. It was just more traditional animation. It'll be interesting to see if they start releasing more of these on Blu-ray, the progression from when the first movie came out it came out in Japan in '98, and then going through the more modern ones, from the fourth generation, and coming soon the fifth generation games. It'll be interesting to see that progression from traditional cell-based, film-based animation going towards more and more computer-generated effects. I even noticed that difference between movies, Heroes and Destiny Deoxys. Did you see that as well?
Yes, I did.
So, what was your overall? You said 7 Destiny Deoxys was your favorite. What did you think of each of the movies? Was the experience, your overall enjoyment of the movie enhanced by the added quality?
It is. Definitely, the quality is much better of it, and it did enhance my viewing of the movie. it actually felt like I was watching in a movie theater at some points, maybe minus the surround sound, I would say.
Well, as someone who's had that experience recently, I definitely have to agree. Of course, I got to see the Zoroark movie in an actual movie theater at the Black and White Mall tour a couple months ago. And, next to that, this is probably about as good as you're going to be able to do for any time in the near future. So overall, if you had to give this a rating out of maybe on a 5-star scale with, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest, what would you give this? Go ahead and use fractional stars if you think you need to.
Well, again, without the additional bonus features and the surround sound not only being in 2.0, it's going to bump it down a little bit. But other than that, I would have to say that it's probably, for a Pokemon fan, not just a normal Yahoo out there, I would have to say it's about a 2.5, 3-ish. It's about 2.75.
All right. Well, out of 5 stars, I actually wanted to go a little higher. I was thinking of giving it maybe a 3.5 to 3 3/4. I did have to knock it, like you said, for the lack of 5.1 surround. I wasn't terribly surprised they didn't have like True HD or something. I don't know if that really adds that much, but at least they could have used the 5.1 from the DVD releases. And again, like you said, I had to knock it down a little bit for the lack of any of the special features. I didn't really expect anything new there, but they could have at least probably reused some of the stuff from the original DVD releases. But overall, I think it's pretty good. If you're interested in movies and you have a Blu-ray player, I think people should definitely pick it up. Do you recommend that as well?
Yes, definitely. This is definitely, aside from, actually it is the first one, actually. I thought Australia was supposed to release their...
We beat them by a couple weeks.
Awesome. Yeah, other than that, that would be awesome to get the movies they're getting Blu-ray, but to be first, I think this is worth it.
And if you had to pick, regardless of any of the 13 movies out there, there's 11 left then. If you had to pick the next one to be put on Blu-ray, which one would you pick?
Oh, this is so hard. It'd be a toss-up in my mind of the first movie and Lucario and the Mystery Mew.
That's interesting. I'd have to actually pick 2000 myself. I don't think the first movie was largely shot in 16 millimeter, so I'm not sure how well. I'm sure they'll do it at some point, but I'm not sure how good it would look in high definition. But 2000 is definitely the one I'd want to see first. Well, thank you very much, Rich. Been glad to have you do this co-review.
Not a problem at all.
This has been Stephen Reich from the PokePress P-Iron Studios in Madison, Wisconsin, on the phone with Rich Wolter, who, along with me, have done a co-review of the Pokemon Heroes Pokemon Destiny Deoxys Blu-ray. This has been a PokePress Special Report.